Tonight on What the Heck Do I Know's PM Update, we're talking about the initiation phase of project management. Initiation is the first phase, the point at which you get your idea and should start thinking about how to do it. When I got the idea for relating project management skills to life skills, it was about a year before I actually got started. I have great ideas all the time, but I have to think through them to figure out how practical they are, how much time I have to devote to them, if they're really as good as I think they are, and whether or not other people are already doing it, and if I think I can do it any better. Even after all of that review, I still had a lot of research to do, and it took a while to make time for all of the work I knew it would take. How did I do it all? Stick around to find out. Hey guys, I really enjoy making these videos for you, so if you get value from them or know someone who would, please support us by hitting like, subscribe, leaving comments, and sharing. And remember, you can always find in-depth information at whattheheckdoiknow.com. Welcome back to PM Update. I'm Leah. Tonight I'm talking about how I use the initiation phase of project management to launch this idea and channel. I don't remember exactly how the idea first came to me. It might have been a weird dream, something that came up in a meeting, or doing some training with my team. Where your ideas come from doesn't really matter. What matters is what you do with them after they come. I spent a day or two thinking about this idea on my own. I was certain that other people would benefit from this information, and I am familiar enough with project management resources that I knew that there weren't many, if any, others doing what I wanted to do. Still, I had questions. What would I need to do? How would I need to put it together? What would I need to have in order to do it? When I had a pretty good idea of how I might do it, I started asking for feedback. Next, I ran the idea by several friends, explaining the general concept, and got outside confirmation that there was value in what I wanted to do. They asked me questions about the how, and I was able to answer most of those because I had already done the mental work. Sometimes they would ask about things I hadn't considered yet, and if I didn't know immediately, I wrote down their questions to think it through some more or look up how to do it. Then I started thinking about how to plan it. I knew that I would need time to write out the lessons, I would need a good location, camera, and a microphone to shoot, time and software to do the editing, internet, and a platform to publish. I knew that I wanted my content to be free, so YouTube seemed like a great option since it might be possible to earn income from advertising if my content gained enough views and subscribers. And I wouldn't need to charge the people who would get the most use out of this information. It took me a long time to actually get started. At the time, I already had a more than full-time job, and in a location where internet was both extremely low quality and outrageously expensive. So if I was going to do this, it would have to be somewhere other than that location. I had already given an undated resignation notice on my job and was waiting until a replacement for my position was found before leaving. It took several months, and by the time I left, I was burned out. I also had other priorities immediately after leaving. I decided to live somewhere other than my home country, so I spent my first month working out how to get a resident visa through a new and somewhat confusing process. I spent the next month online doing in-depth research on how to be successful on YouTube. I made arrangements to get equipment I already owned to my new location, and I'm a big fan of using what you already have to get started on new projects. But because of changes in technology over the years, much of what I already owned wouldn't work for what I wanted to do. By the time I was ready to start testing, I had lost my momentum. I was frustrated with equipment failures and unfamiliar with how difficult it is to do creative writing every day. All of it just got overwhelming, and I stopped making progress. It took a few months rather than weeks to get out of the funk I was in. But I finally got into the habit of writing and working out in my apartment since the gyms were closed. I started eating better, drinking lots of water, and finding solutions for my equipment gaps. Then I started writing out my content and tried various ways of presenting it. When I finished a show, I uploaded it as unlisted and sent the link out for friends to comment on and provide feedback. I made changes and then I published. At first, the content even bored me. I couldn't imagine anyone else watching it. The information was good, but staring at my talking head was just not interesting. So I made more changes, started looking at doing animation and telling stories. It got me excited about my project again, and I was able to put out a lot of content in the first couple of months with the help of a friend. I was always tweaking my plan as I got new information about performance, both mine and my videos. Being flexible is required when you're trying to do something that you've never done before, and there are no clear-cut ways of being successful. The idea and the basic plan never change. My execution is what changed over time to improve, to better accomplish the main idea. Through the last 6 months, I've come to the realization that YouTube might not be the right platform for as many people to see it as possible. What I'm doing isn't funny or cool, and it doesn't show you how to do things that are concrete, like cooking food or changing an air filter, which is what I think most people go to YouTube for. And that's okay. I'm going to keep providing project management content for this channel, but my concentration will be producing classes and publishing those on education platforms, places people actually go to for education subjects. That's all for What the Heck Do I Know's PM Update. I hope you've enjoyed this series on my first 6 months on YouTube. I haven't firmly decided on my topic and format for next week, so it will be just as much a surprise for me as it is for you. I do have my first course finished and my application into LinkedIn Learning. I have to make some changes before I can put it up on Udemy, but I expect to have those completed in a day or two. So I will have an update on at least part of the process by next week's show. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time on our next episode of PM Update. Good night. Hey there, before you go, don't forget to support these videos by hitting like and subscribe. I love seeing the comments too.